No more bad government in Nigeria. Nigeria Watch, the only media that have been consistent speaking against the bad government and for the purpose for reformers. Nigeria Watch, yo. No more bad government. Nigeria Watch. No more bad government. Nigeria Watch. No more bad government. The only media that have been speaking. No more bad government. The voice of the voiceless. No more bad government. No more bad for the poor. No more bad government. Nigeria Watch. No more bad government. Nigeria Watch media. No more bad government. No more bad government. No more bad government. In Nigeria. No more bad government. No more bad government. No more bad government. The only media. No more bad government. The number one media in Nigeria. No more bad government. That have been speaking against government. No more bad government. Nigeria Watch. No more bad government. Nigeria Watch, yo. The voice of the voiceless. The voice of the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless. Nigeria Watch media. Voice for the voiceless. Nigeria Watch media. The only media that have been speaking against bad government. Being consistency since 1944. Voice for the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless. Umuwame. Voice for the voiceless. Umuwame. Voice for the voiceless. 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 Nigeria Watch, yo. We have been seeing all you guys have been doing, and we recommending to everyone in Nigeria, saying that you guys are the number one. Nigeria Watch, yo.
After the civil war, Gowon came and said, no victor, no vanquished. It appears that statement was a lie. It appears that statement was a lie. It appears that war, in some people's mind, the war is still on. I think the only people who have actually forgotten about the war are the Igbos. But the rest of Nigerians who fought them still believe the war is on. Or perhaps they believed that after the war, the Igbos should remain vanquished, even though they said no victor, no vanquished. Now, what led to the statement, no victor, no vanquished, is from a mind of reconciliation. Let's go back to the way things were. Let's become brotherly. Let's forget it ever happened. Let's forget there was ever a war. No victor, no vanquished. But it appears the no victor part was a lie. The no vanquished part was a lie. It appears in the mind of some people the Igbos should remain vanquished. And what does that mean? The Igbos should remain second class. The Igbos should not aspire to become president. The Igbos should not aspire to become politically relevant. The Igbos should not in any way become influential in any factors that determines the very existence of Nigeria. That to me is not anything remotely resembling no victor, no vanquished. Now, why am I doing this? Trust me, it took me a long while to understand that having a bias, the guy that was talking to me in the, okay, for those who are not part of the first video that had some technical issues, I was talking about me being in a keke napep, and we were talking about Nigerian politics, and the keke napep rider was saying that Nigeria, an Igbo man should not be given presidency because giving an Igbo man presidency, there's a likelihood that the Igbo man will tear this country apart. Now, for a young man of a Hausa extraction saying this thing at this critical moment where the country has no bearing clearly shows that there's no hope in saving this country. Honestly, I don't think this country can be saved. I really, really don't think this country can be saved. Now, this conversation I'm telling you took place in front of a mosque, and they gathered me, and I told the people around me, I said, this man should repeat what he said if I don't slap him. Repeat what he just said. And when he said it, even the people around were like, no, that was, because he was saying what he was saying, believing maybe because of my appearance or perhaps my facial construct, he assumed I was an Igbo man. He assumed I was an Igbo man. And he assumed he was saying what he was saying to get back at me. And that I was passionate in my response, perhaps maybe confirmed he had a punch at me. But I told him, you may be shocked that I'm not an Igbo man, but this bias against Igbos has gotten me rethinking. Because I was one of those who detests hearing an Igbo man that he wants to go, that they want to break. Please, my statement does not confirm that I support Biafra, and please, that one's another thing entirely. But for the Northerners who believe that the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable, that statement in itself is fraudulent and mischievous. The unity of Nigeria is absolutely negotiable. Because we cannot have a Nigeria where people can actually come up with a Muslim ticket, no problem. But try and remotely think about Christian ticket, this country will be on fire. Now, such a scenario suggests that the Islamic community in Nigeria has more say or more power than the rest of Nigerians put together. That is what it says. It clearly shows that as a Christian in Nigeria, your political worth or your political meaning is less than nothing. This is why sometimes when I watch proceedings at the House of Assembly, you can see the arrogance of people from the north and the sheepishness of the politicians from the south. Nigeria, you're distracting me really. Nigeria cannot continue this way. If this is how Nigeria is structured, or if this is how the Northerners believe that Nigeria should continue, then and only then I support in all honesty that you should break this deception. Break it. Break this country. excuse me, break this country, we cannot continue like this. We cannot continue in a country where a certain group of people believe that they are more Nigerian than the rest of Nigerians. We cannot continue in a country where if one group of this community commits a crime, they get the privilege of the enforcers of law to look the other way. But when another group of Nigeria commits the same crime, they end up punished. This is not a country. This is not a country. Now, I'm not a fan of Nnamdi Kanu. Trust me, I'm not a fan of his. But that he could remain in incarceration when the court has granted him bail speaks a lot about what Nigeria is. Because I cannot imagine a northerner that the law has granted bail still remain in incarceration. It's not possible. It cannot happen. That Nnamdi Kanu will still be in prison even when the court has granted him bail. It cannot happen to a northerner. So, when a northerner is coming to tell me that if you give an Igbo man presidency, he's going to break this country, what does that mean? I mean, what does that mean? Keeping this country one, for what purpose must we keep Nigeria united? For what purpose? Somebody tell me, because I don't understand what it means. I don't understand what the unity of Nigeria means. For what purpose? We are trying to keep Nigeria united so that the North can continue to exchange a baton of politics between the West and the North, while the rest of us, Middle Belt, Southeast, South, watch as willing slaves or what? I mean, I don't know what that means anywhere in the world. I'm trying to assign vocabulary to this construct. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm trying to assign words, vocabulary to these contradictions. I'm lost. I just don't know what to say. That a young man from the North, even in the face of all these government failures, can still hold on to his sentiments to say that I don't know. What is it about this Igbo hatred that fills some people to the point that it creates a lot of satisfaction? I don't know. What is it about it? Yes, I know some people can be annoying, but so it is in some Yoruba people, some Urobo people, some Hausa people, some Idoma people. So we have them everywhere. The last time I was in my joint, one thief guy was also displaying the same hatred for Igbos. So what is it about this hatred for Igbos that gives some people a kind of erection that I don't know? Somebody please tell me. These same Igbo people that you want to hate say they want to go. You say no, they must remain. They want to go and form their own country. They don't want to be part of it. You say no. This.
All right, we're continuing on what's trending. Africa's richest man and founder of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, on Tuesday condemned the importation of petroleum products from overseas, saying that the Dangote Petroleum refinery currently has over 500 million liters of petrol available for sale and urged marketers and the NNPC to patronize his products. Dangote spoke after a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his committee on crude oil and refined product sales in local currency.
We are producers. I have a refinery. I'm not in the business of retail. If I'm in the business of retail, then you hold me responsible. But what I'm saying is that the retailers should please come forward and pick If they don't come forward and pick, what do you want me to do? There's nothing that I can do. So I am expecting either NNPC or the marketers to stop importing. They should come and collect. We have what they need. And, as they remove, I will be pumping. I don't know whether you understand what it takes to keep 500 million liters inside our tank. It's costing me money. Every day, if I will be able to collect the naira, I can actually charge somebody 32% in interest. So right now, that's what I'm losing. And you are talking about 500 billion. We don't print money, but the issue is that if they come and collect, then you will not see any queues in the filling stations. We have what it takes for them to come and collect. We are not retailers. We also don't have trucks to send. We have a factory where we can load. If they come and pick, they will go and distribute. And they've been doing that with importation. So if they have been doing that with importation, if it's true they are doing 55 million, I see no reason why they won't come and collect and distribute.
Very strong statement there from Alhaji Aliko Dangote. I know you discussed this earlier on the headline news, but I'd like to take reactions from Nigerians, from his statement. This is from Clement, who wrote, "Why are marketers and NNPC not buying petrol from Dangote? How much was crude sold to Dangote, and how much is Dangote willing to sell petrol to marketers? These are questions all Nigerians should be seeking immediate answers to from the federal government, Dangote, and marketers." While King wrote, "Dangote is indirectly exposing NNPC corruption over the years. They have been inflating petrol import and petrol use in the country. Now you have petrol in the country, but they still want to import so that they can continue oppressing the masses and continue their corruption practices." But Bayo Ononuga also summed up this meeting, and I'll read his statement in part. He wrote, "The president urged stakeholders to look inward and consider supplying enough petrol and petroleum products for local consumption to stop the persistent reliance on importation. He said this would enable the channeling of foreign exchange into the development of the real sector. The president advised stakeholders to use Afrexim Bank as a settlement bank to resolve the naira pricing for crude and refined products. Afrexim Bank is already on board as the financial advisor." Ononuga quoted the president as saying, "The market must determine what we are doing. Once you allow the market to determine the profit and loss, independent marketers and the government side can meet on the worksheet. I want the issues resolved without future waste of time. We can have energy security, and the motivation for Alhaji Aliko Dangote will not be defeated. It will be more predictable on the medium and long-term basis." I like the president's statement there. Vimbai.
Yep, and as we said earlier, there's a number of factors, moving pieces in all of this. Of course, the big question is, why don't the marketers want to buy from Dangote? So it's double-sided, right? Some people are still saying, well, we want some transparency from Dangote as well. Can he advertise his price? But on the other hand, the fuel is there 500 million liters, and you prefer to go and import. And what I said earlier in the morning is that Ghana have expressed an interest in importing Dangote's fuel into Ghana because they know that it will reduce the price of their own fuel domestically. So the conversations that need to be had around this issue are, there's clearly still arbitrage in the system. Where is the arbitrage? Who is doing it? Who's benefiting from it? And how do we cut it out once and for all? Because somebody is lying. We don't know who yet, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Somebody is being dishonest.
Absolutely. Well said, Vimbai. Very well said. Well, in another development, members of the House of Representatives last week criticized the Minister of Works, David Umahi, over Nigeria's deteriorating road infrastructure. The ministry's Director of Bridges, Bede Obiora, who represented the Minister of Works, had cited funding constraints as the primary cause for the poor road infrastructure during a House Hearing Committee meeting. Well, the chairman of the Committee on FEMA, Remi Oseni, vehemently rebuffed the minister's defense and challenged the claim that resource scarcity was to blame. Let's take a look.
You are not here to come and tell us what you already knew in the area of resources. So if you are telling us the reason why you have failed in fixing our road infrastructure is because of resources, don't let me take you up there. Because you concentrated your energy as a minister on less priority issues. Don't discuss resources. I say it again. If you are addressing these roads, existing roads, with the resources that you have, sir, honorable minister, we will not be where we are. Don't discuss resources. 300 billion budget approval, supplementary approval. Don't raise my emotion. I am worried that you are not concerned about fixing Nigerian roads. Stop telling us you are awarding road. We don't want you to be awarding road that you are not ready to do. How can you be telling us that there is no resources? In less than 1 minute, from everything that everybody has said, it's a clue. You have no plan for us as a nation. I was wondering what was used as benchmark for your appraisal.
Very strong statement there.
Wow.
I can see you opening your eyes,
Wow.
Ayo. But you know David Mahi was not there because you know there would have been an exchange of words. But he's responded though. He said that he's refrained from speaking with Mr. Hosseini there and, you know, out of respect for Tajuddin Abbas. He also said that he is quite dangerous to the 10th Assembly. But I don't believe, I mean, a lot of Nigerians will definitely agree with Hosseini. Well, in the meantime, in Anambra State, Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo last week explained why he is yet to fulfill his campaign promise of making the state the Dubai Taiwan of Nigeria. Well, Soludo spoke at an event last week stating that education is needed to bring his campaign promise to reality and that turning Anambra State into Dubai and Taiwan cannot be achieved with an illiterate population. Let's take a look.
When we say Anambra vision African Dubai Taiwan, mana if any matter when they talk Dubai Taiwan, but you know overnight skyscrapers nine ade abule beni na ya bu Dubai Taiwan and the Okonkwo development and the foundation of Taiwan. Access to qualitative education. Taiwan, natural resources. The road to Taiwan begins from there. You cannot get to Taiwan with illiterate population. And I will decide for Anambra to become the Taiwan of tomorrow. We have to lay the foundation today.
Professor Chukwuma Soludo. I mean, there are some comments online. They were saying, do you know how many illiterates are in Taiwan? Yeah. Plenty illiterates are in Taiwan as well. But I mean, he's talking about illiteracy and lack of education in his state. Dr. Abati.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
I don't know, introducing Mr. Okonkwo as a member of the Labour Party is a difficult one because it would seem that at the time we all saw the public statement and you walking away from the Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi on the issues of leadership. Perhaps you clarify that, then we'll move on to other issues so that I know how to address you going forward.
That has been clarified for now. You didn't see it anywhere. You heard it from the rumor mill. So I am a member of Labour Party, but I'm not a spokesperson for Peter Obi.
Okay.
And indeed, the election is over. We spoke for 2023 election, and that had been concluded.
Great.
So it's really actually, nothing to...
Yeah, that's not why we're here, so let's not dig into that. I just wanted to know how to address you going forward.
No, a lawyer, a columnist,
fair enough. Let's go into the business of the day, which is the cabinet reshuffle. Now, I'd like to get your thoughts, both of you, on the cabinet reshuffle. It was very much anticipated, even though it was unprecedented. What we had heard that the president was going to reshuffle his cabinet. Now it's been done. I know it's been a week, but the conversation has been sustained, and that's because of some of the appointments and the concerns raised from the appointments of the president. So let's hear your thoughts on this cabinet reshuffle, Mr. Okonkwo.
Well, I do not know why this government continually miss opportunity to even rewrite some of its perfidy. Now, the whole issue of reshufflement is an admission that your cabinet is not going the way you thought they would go. And then it's also an opportunity for you to redress a lot of things that are very wrong with your administration. You came in and people were crying. The cost of governance is quite high.
Then you sacked 5 ministers and you chose 7. How does that address the issue of cost of governance? Now, let's go to the nitty-gritty of the ministers that he chose. There are about 48 ministers in this cabinet, and there are about 32 substantive ministers, 16 ministers of state. For the avoidance of doubt, ministers of state, they are not recognized by the Constitution. They are contraption by the president. By Section 147, subsection 1, it is clear the president should appoint ministers of the government of the federation. And by Section 147, subsection 3, it said that appointment must accord with Section 14.3 of the Constitution, which is the federal character principle, which states that the composition of every government and the conduct of its affairs must reflect the federal character. In order to command national unity, national loyalty, and ensure that there is no preponderance of persons from a particular ethnic group, from a particular section on the government. Now, this government has 8 substantive ministers from Southwest. That's about 25% of the 32 ministers in Nigeria. In South-South, 6 states with the Southwest, they have only 3 substantive ministers. That is about 9% of the substantive ministers. In the Southeast, they have 2. That's about 6% of the substantive ministers. So out of the 32, you see how Ogun State alone has more substantive ministers than the entire Southeast. And then equal ministers from the South-South. And I can name them if you want. Minister of Power, Industry, Interior, Finance, Communication, Education, Marine Resources, Solid Mineral. From Southwest. And they're talking about 2. Southeast, Works, Science. 3, South-South. You're talking about
Southeast.
2 substantive ministers.
Okay, substantive. You're
Substantive.
being specific.
There is nothing like ministers of state. That's a contraption of the president. That is why Festus Keyamo said it at the FEC meeting that it's illegal. However, it is not illegal because they are ministers of state. It is illegal because the president is using it to say he has given a state a substantive ministry, which is illegal. Because every state is equal by the federal character principle. That's the whole idea of it. So every state is entitled to a substantive minister. He said at least 1 minister. And I'm talking about Section 147, subsection 3 of the Constitution. So what I'm saying is that in the South-South, you have the FCT, Aviation, and Regional Development ministers. Substantive. So this government has continued in the line of governing this country with preponderance of people from the Southwest, his own geopolitical zone, portraying him as ethnic bigot, portraying him as a man incapable of uniting Nigeria and giving people a sense of belonging. The danger is that his government will never get the loyalty that it needs to govern.
It's the manner in which she was disengaged fair.
Right. Let me first of all say that, because, you asked him, were you surprised? I said, I am amazed that this government is just wasting Nigerians' time. You know why I'm saying this? The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, they say the problems we have in Nigeria today is frequent policy flip-flop, high interest rate, astronomical energy costs, hyperinflation, multiple charges, toxic operating environment. Now, one would have thought the president would have prioritized reshuffling the cabinet within the most terrible, urgent, problematic areas. And I'm talking about the circle of Ministry of Power, Ministry of Petroleum, Ministry of
Agriculture.
Of Economy, generally, Finance, Central Bank. Why am I saying this? Dr. Raymond Kuti, the president, Guild of Medical Directors, he said that 50% of private hospitals have collapsed. And he said the problem is from the operating expenses because of lack of electricity and medical supplies. This thing he said rotates around these 4 ministries that I'm saying. Today is almost 8 days, and the entire North has not had light. And you're still keeping a minister of darkness that I've told you that his only solution is that Nigerians should off their refrigerator. So what I'm trying to say is that I was expecting that the president should have sacked himself first as a minister of petroleum, being the worst ministry in the whole world. They met fuel at 195. Today is 1,200, and it's not even available. So we're talking about unaffordability. We're talking about unavailability. The same thing with electricity. Electricity tariff has risen so astronomically, and it's not even available. And then we're talking about in the economy, macroeconomic stability. We're talking about a central bank that is increasing interest rates rather than decreasing it. Because what we are suffering is not demand pull inflation. We are suffering cost of production induced inflation. That is why the president of the Guild of Medical, field, he said, look, to import the medical supplies has increased, the price has increased by 500%. You know what it means? It means that 50% of Nigerians are now dying who are sick because they cannot afford to go to hospital. That's why he said 50% of the hospitals are collapsing. So rather than trying to rejig your cabinet within this area, you are rejigging your cabinet, saying you're sacking women and affairs. He has denied himself now of the services of a woman who would have sued the United Nations, for not, for cornering Nigerian money. So the issue is really very, 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 it's terrible.
Well, can you respond?
They're chasing shadows in this reshufflement. About Edu,
yes,
that you asked, it has told you the hypocrisy in the purported fight against corruption. The mere fact that you said you suspended somebody means there are reasonable suspicion that she compromised herself, compromised her office, and she engaged in corrupt practices.
No, I think the suspension at the time was to pave way for investigation.
So what's the investigation?
So that's the question.
What's the outcome?
So that's the question.
I said
the question
then.
is the outcome of that investigation has not been made public.
Right.
In the eyes of the public, she's already guilty. And she's been receiving all sorts of it. She had received all sorts of...
Ikumi, in this studio, I sat down and said that call for investigation was for optics. In this studio, is it not for optics? It's for optics. The thing is that lady was not sacked because she stole. That lady was sacked because she was not clever in stealing.
Let me bring in.
How can you allow people to fly from Kogi to Abuja?
Let me bring in.
In general, you see, why it will going to be very difficult for things to change is that even the justice system, and I've said this not once, not twice, coming from the issue of insecurity now to economy, I have not yet seen, the only time you will see the justice system is working in taking someone to court is when an administration has wind up and the coming administration will start witch hunting those that were in the previous administration. Because now, if the system is actually working, and if truly they are saying that this is what better has done, you could have been in the court today or jailed. Nothing has happened to that.
As an example.
So, just like the issue of the insecurity, we have nobody today you can say that it's either this person is going through how many years in prison as a result of these killings or as a result of this. So it's just that at the end of the day, like a cosmetics quick fix to make you feel better that something is being done. But by and large, the resilience of Nigerians,
one minister not to regulate the industry of agric.
Maybe it hasn't worked. That's why it's changing it.
And when we had one minister in the name of additional, and I hope I'm right, the present AFB,
AFDB.
When we had one minister, agriculture was giving us food. Farmers were receiving their fertilizer. Everything was moving on fine. The problem is not number of ministers. Give the farmers security, give them the tools they need, and they will give us the food.
Yeah.
These ministers, you're multiplying corruption because the only thing they have experience for is incompetence and corruption.
Honorable Baggers, the
that Labour Party had promised Nigerians.
Not even, he's a servant of servants.
And not at all, not
How
at
about the
all,
Labour
not
Party
at
in
all.
this instance then?
I told you earlier, under Abure, Labour Party is a housemaid to APC. It is pure and simple, because you are purporting that you organize the national convention where nobody wants you, where nobody voted for you. The elected people, they have come together to choose a caretaker committee because your tenure has expired. And then, who are you governing? It is because APC needs such people to be in power in Labour Party. That's why they are in power, to be used for 2027.
Do you think
It's as
there's
simple as that.
infiltration from the APC in your party as well?
Not at all. You know, whatsoever internal rancor we have within our parties, our own internal issues that we're trying to address. But for our own whatsoever opinion that anybody will have, that because a PDP, a card-carrying member of the party is within the government, that is his own private business. But then, for us as a party, we know that we are working to reject the PDP to be a formidable opposition, to see that how we can be able to address an individual cannot be identified to be the whole organ of the party. That's the difference, because it's only the FCT minister that is the president. There's no any other appointment
just one
of a
second.
card-carrying member of the PDP.
I really don't want this conversation to go political.
Yeah.
I really wanted us to deal with the issues. So let's come back to the issue of governance and focus on cutting the cost of governance. Now, the president not long ago had cut down his entourage, cut down that of the vice president, and now his latest move is being commended by a number of persons. He has cut down the entourage of the ministers, saying that only 3 vehicles, cut down the security as well, even told the security heads that they should cut down, except when necessary, they shouldn't move in long convoys. Do you commend the president as well? Is this a good move? It may not be, as some have said, the best move ever to address cost of governance, but is this a step in the right direction?
Within Abuja, Terry, they can do that within Abuja. All of them, all the ministers, none of them can travel to their places with 2 or 3 cars. It's not possible. They know that none of them can go to their villages with 2, 3 cars. It's not possible. So it's just cosmetic within Abuja, because none of it's just the truth. If they are going to their villages, they mobilize security, they mobilize civil defense, they mobilize. Let them enter their villages with 2, 3 cars, and let's see if they will come out. They mobilize, they make sure that there is advance, they make sure there is this. It's just cosmetics within Abuja movement. But none of them can go to their villages with 2 or 3 cars without security. It's not possible. With the high rate of insecurity in this country, let them dare it and let's see if they will come back the way they went.
Mr. Okonkwo.
Well, like I said, there is nothing to commend, because what you are trying to protect by cutting down on the cars, you are losing by bloating your cabinet. If you say 3 cars for a minister, for instance, and you have 3 ministers for 1 ministry, you are talking about 9 cars, 9 drivers. That is why we're saying, for you to make sense and for people to commend you, you have to cut down on the number of ministers. You have 37 ministers by the Constitution to choose. In America, that is like a continent. They have about 15 secretaries of state. So you can come down to 37. And then when you talk about commendation, you will be commendable. Now you are condemnable, because you have about 48 ministers for a poor country. And you want to buy your private jet. Use 21 billion naira to build the house of your vice president. Use 20 billion naira to give your chief of staff. You choose billions to give your wife to spend on what? What am I commending? I condemn in its entirety this government and its profligacy. They should repent.
Okay, so let's look at the something related, and it has to do with the people. While the government cut costs in every aspect, especially with the issue of fuel subsidy, whereas, of course, advised by the World Bank and the IMF that this money should go directly to Nigerians, so be used to, implement projects that are directly beneficial. The issue of the humanitarian ministry comes to mind. It's supposed to be a ministry where governments can reach the people directly. But there are those who have described it as a corruption ministry. Now, under Better Edu, it was even made more evident. And many said this is a time for the ministry to go. it would seem that the president doesn't agree because we now have 2 ministers. Do you think, do you agree with those who say the ministry should go, or do you expect some more work to be done with that ministry because of how impactful it would be on the people?
Well, when...
No, well, okay. Make your point first.
Okay, no, when President Tinubu still chose another person for that ministry, and now concluded he's not interested in fighting corruption. Betedu was a medical person, a woman that ought to have milk of human motherly kindness. If she can go there and be overwhelmed by the corruption in that system, and she inherited women before her, spending 40 billion, the one that EFCC is talking about. If you put a Nigerian angel, not angel of God, if you put a Nigerian angel in that ministry, that angel will be very corrupt.
You know, the sad thing about this is because there is no outcome of that investigation, all those things against better are still regarded as allegations.
That's why I'm saying that ministry should be abolished. One, it is not doing anything. Just check what Better Edu did. They brought out money they said they were going to give to 4
allegedly
vulnerable. No, this one was, done. That was part of the reasons he was suspended.
That was where an investigation was begun.
No, they brought out money, 585 million was budgeted for 4 states, including Lagos, for vulnerable people. Where I'm going is that where you're giving the vulnerable people 585 million, you are using 3.2 billion naira for consultancy fee. It was there in the open. So how do you justify it? And even that money was paid into a private account. These are part of the reasons she was suspended. So you can imagine the gap in corruption. Why I'm saying it should be abolished is that you will be subsidizing consumption. Why don't you use that money to subsidize production? What we need in Nigeria is productivity. If you can make those private hospitals to survive, a lot of people will be employed. Some of these vulnerable people will have work there. But when you are giving them fish, 20,000 naira a month, 50,000 naira a month, what will it afford them? They will eat and they will be hungry. So it will be of no benefit, even if they are doing it right. And in this case, they are not even doing it right. So what do you need that ministry for? Nothing, just to share money to the corrupt and to the rich.
Honorable Bago, social welfare is a common thing in many countries, especially developed countries. This could have passed as a ministry that would advance social welfare, wouldn't it?
Yes, social welfare in developed countries have helped. But with what? Statistics. What are the statistics we have to be able to say that this is how the social welfare is not accurate?
Yeah. Some say are peculiar to Nigeria, and not peculiar to Nigeria. So we cannot implement as much, especially not just Nigeria anyway, developing countries.
Now, any government that has to wait for foreigners to teach you about your own country is incompetent and dumb. No, how can I come to your village and start telling you about the economic policies that work in your village? That is what IMF and World Bank is talking about. This is Nigeria. We have our peculiarities. We must look inward. We must look at our history. What is it that works for us? How can IMF tell you to depreciate your currency and you go foolishly to do it when you know that you are an importer of everything that you need? You depreciate your currency when you are a net exporter in order to make your goods to be cheaper, to compete internationally so that foreigners will buy your goods. But this is a government that you are importing all your goods and you're depreciating your economy, meaning shooting yourself even on the leg, because your own goods, that the goods you are now importing will be of higher cost. That was why when this government removed subsidy the first time, the whole subsidy was removed. But when they depreciated Naira by more than 300%, they could not even afford their own fuel because they needed more money now to buy the refined imported fuel. What a foolishness. That is why I'm saying that this CBN, I don't know the economics textbook that he reads. I am an economist. IMF is telling you what will suit them, not what will suit you. And when crisis comes, they will say, I not tell you. Meanwhile, what they were telling you is different. Now they are telling us we need 15 years to recover. Meanwhile, we are practicing what we are teaching the Nigerian government. So if you should wait for foreigners to teach you, it's because you are bereft of knowledge.
Okay, so interestingly, Nigeria's political future has been questioned. And that's because some question, truthfully, every policy of government is driven by the political class. And when you look at the crop of politicians now and those yet to come, and those already in the saddle, a lot of question where Nigeria stands in the near future. So as we close this conversation, I'd like you to respond to concerns around Nigeria's political future. And specifically, Honorable Bagos, as you respond to that, I want you to respond to the issues around the orientation and mindset of politicians and how they relate with Nigerians, especially in the wake of this issue with Honorable Alex Ikweche. Honorable Bagos, quick.
Well, I tell you, the major problem, and we have said it not once, not twice, that the problem we have as a country and within the political space is about leadership recruitment. Leadership recruitment in the sense that now it has been, it's now an ideology to the younger generation and young politicians that it's only when you get into politics that you'll be rich. It's only when you get into politics you have access to a lot of things. But that is not so in developed countries. I have seen where a US congressman is looking for businessmen to lobby for issues.
Okay.
But here you will see that it's the businessmen that are looking for the politicians to lobby for issues.
Why do you think that is so? Anyways.
Yeah, so leadership, for me, in closing, Terry, leadership recruitment is a very big problem. That the ideology of democracy, the ideology of politics needs to be rejigged and more reorientation, because the younger generations that are coming in, everybody that is seeking for position is just looking for, it is my turn.
Absolutely. Let me come to Honorable, Mr. Okonkwo, just as a wrap up, please. In 60 seconds.
Oh, well, what I want to tell you is that no country will survive under abject poverty, because poverty irritates people. When people have lack, they are suicidal. They can do anything. We need government that is run by men of integrity, men of capacity, competence, and character in order to yield the democracy dividends. That's the only thing that will make us to rise up. The legislature should rise up to do their job. Their job is there to represent the people and check the excesses of the executive.
I'd like to thank both of you for finding time to come today. Honorable Dachung Bagos, former member of the House of Representatives, thank you very much.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every one of you, my people. Thank you very much for your time with us today. We don't come again. It's another wonderful day. Today is Wednesday, 30th of October, 2024. Thank you very much, my people. Now, God will bless you now. I appreciate you all. Do your part by pressing on the like button, help us to share. Thank you so much. Mother of all, Mommy Diaspora, good evening to you, Mommy. Thank you very much for all you do. I appreciate you always, as usual. Thank you very much, Abu Azi. Thank you very much, sir, for all you do. May God bless you. May God bless every one of you right there. I've showcased so many people already on screen. We just need to move on right now. We've been on this presentation for 1 hour, 27 minutes. So I'm going to post out a link for those of you that want to join this discussion today. Please click on the link, join us here, and let's talk about the things that is affecting you and I. Thank you very much, Michael Owen Amaro, Frank Uno. Thank you very much, Peggy Modi, Tony Africa. Thank you, my people. Thank you so much, God's Child. I can see you as well. Madam Nena, thank you very much. You'll be frequent for the past couple of days. I appreciate that. Thank you, Patience Demo Dias. I get there. Say thank you, my people. Bella Naomi in the building today. Good evening to you, ma. It's good to have you on the show, Mr. Johnson. Thank you. Yes, my people. Kislo Gera here is also there with us. I appreciate you all, my people. Senegal Omende, Rosie Yosh, Austin Prince, Dixon Idagbo, and many others. Okay, like I said before, I'd like us to move on because I have one or two articles to showcase so we can move on. Pacha no fame, I can see you just coming in. Thank you, Michael Okata. Thank you. God bless you. Good evening to you, Don Anthony. Thank you very much. Thank you, my people. Nobody don't buy me coffee today at all. You know, what did they suck now? My people, click on the $sign, encourage our work by doing your part. Thank you. I have O2 Elo. I'm not sure if I pronounce your name properly, but I see you. I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you, my people. And God bless you now. We have Madukalov right there with us as well. Thank you. Good evening to you. Thank you. Okay. Can I just move on now? Although I've posted out a link for those of you coming to the panel, just click on the link, join us here. But let me start with this article here quickly. Yeah, court grant Abia rep 500,000 naira bail over assault of boat driver. Nigeria. A magistrate court in Kuje, Abuja has granted a 500,000 naira bail to Alex Ikweshe, a member of the House of Representatives, following an assault of the Stephen Abuwatse, a boat driver that went viral. 500,000 naira. Now they take grant this man be 500,000 naira. I think I will talk on rich. That's Nigeria for you, man. Anyway, People's Gazette report. Court remand man for calling Benue's governor Alia chronic womanizer in social media. Makodi Chief Magistrate Court on Wednesday ordered that a 35-year-old man, Paul Gyanje, be remanded in the correctional facility for allegedly calling Governor Hashinshin Alia of Benue a chronic womanizer on social media. So if for this thing are remanded, you are remanding this one for calling a governor of a womanizer, right? Allegedly. Then what about Boko Haram terrorists taking over Nigeria here and there? Then what is the court doing about that? It's just a question. For example, let me showcase this one now. Maybe, this might be able to cement what I just presented. Okay, for example, this one with this screen now from Sarah Porter. Terrorists take over military training camp in Niger State, displace 23 communities, lawmakers raises alarm. So what is court doing about this? I don't get this. These guys are doing everything possible to shut down freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of association as well. Then what happened? This one, look where they shot. Terrorists take over military training camp. What are they doing about it? This one is on the 29th of October. Not be say 2024. Not be say it tell. Now only less than 24 hours ago. Now this one happened. So anyway, I'd just like to move on. They don't matter get us to be, man. The situation of our country is affecting all of us. I'm telling you. It's affecting all of us. There's something I will tell you guys, but I'm not going to say it today. But I want you guys to remember today's date, Wednesday, 30th of October. The day I will say it, I'll bring you guys back to Wednesday, 30th of October. Very, very important thing I will say. But I will look for the best time to say it. And it will shock many of you. But just remember this day. I'm good at asking. How many of you remember when I said something so that, I carry everybody along? But let me move on to what we're doing today. Idume, federal government shouldn't punish the poor with more taxes. Although the video of this is available, but we can't continue with videos anymore. I just have to stop it because the time is just running fast. Ali Adume, Senator representing Borno South, says the federal government should not burden the poor with more taxes. While I still have about 1 month to go, I guess, yes, Nnamdi Kanu. Well, I'm not vex because some of them don't like me whenever I present Nnamdi Kanu case for here. To be honest, if I have my way, I'll present Nnamdi Kanu every day. I'll put it into all my presentation, but I try to do my part. You know, some of Unadol is sort me tire privately and all that, you know, and all that. Unadol call me IPOP, call me this, call me that. You don't need to belong to anything to do the right thing in your country. You don't need to belong to anything. Vanguard, Nnamdi Kanu, our sole founder, IPOP, tells the Nigerian army. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOP, has accused the Nigerian army of intimidating and misleading the judges handling the case of its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, with fake news about the pro-Biafra group. The pro-Biafra group also dismissed as falsehood and a lie from a pit of hell. The claim by the Nigerian army that it has arrested the founding father of IPOP, adding that it is one of the lies and fake news the Nigerian army has been using to intimidate and mislead the judges handling the case of its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. IPOP, in a statement by its media publicity secretary, Imam Powerful, entitled, unquote, Nigerian army should stop intimidating and misleading the judges with fake news about IPOP, alleged that each time the case of its leader draws closer, the Nigerian army will come up with fake news or arresting or killing IPOP member. Unquote, now inside Vanguard that they read this one, so for this one now we hate to say go still change them. They went on. You know, there's a lot of things in there, but I'll just leave it right here. Anyway, thank you very much, my people. I appreciate every one of you. We've come to the end of our presentation today. Yes, for those of you that want to call in, this is the best time for you to call in so that we can take it from here. If you want to join the panel, it's the best time for you to join the panel as well. But I'd like to quickly appreciate those of you that already super chatted me. I'm grateful. I called and you guys answered me. I said I'm grateful. Whatever you guys called for in life, God Almighty will put people in place to answer you in the mighty name of Lord Jesus Christ. I want to say I'm grateful. Thank you very much, Sammy Gelmede. God bless you. Thank you very much, Michael Oganamaro. Thank you very much, sir, for your encouragement. Thanks for your kind words. Thank you, God's child. You've done it again. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your pocket, none of your pocket will ever run dry. But meanwhile, I'd like us to move on. Thank you very much, Mother Deborah, for calling. Good evening to you, ma'am. Please talk to us.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mr. Elvis.
Thank you, ma'am. Please talk to us. Good evening to you.
Watching from home, I just want to make a quick contribution. Just on one of the videos you presented, the one Saraka spoke earlier, I just want to say I was really touched. Everything Mr. Raka said in that video, but the reality is we have leaders in the south, we have leaders in the east, we have leaders in the middle belt that are not doing anything about what is going on. Unfortunately, how will I even say, this unfair treatment and supremacy by the northern Nigeria has already grown so far to the extent that I don't see how anybody is going to stop it. They have dominated everywhere. They get everything that they want, that is in their own interest. They get away with everything. Opinion, if our own people in the south fold their hands, we have governors, we have people in the Senate and everywhere, but they are not speaking up for their own people. They are all folding their hands and looking at the north, dominating and treating every other person as a second-class citizen, changing power between them and the West, while every other person is looking foolishly. So let it be. Maybe when it now hits the rock, by the time they impose Sharia on everybody or turn Nigeria to Islamic country, maybe that's when people are going to wake up. But for now, people are still sleeping. That's what happened, is exactly what happened in Sudan. when the problems were coming and coming, they all sat and they were looking foolishly until it hit the rock, and then civil war broke up. So everything Mr. Raka said is just the truth, but obviously nothing is going to happen. Nothing is changing. People are just looking, and governors are not doing anything. People are not even seeing what is happening, but nobody is saying anything. Look at Asari Dokumbo, what do they call him? For his own selfish interest, he supported Tinubu, used his own money to support Tinubu because of his own selfish interest, not even in the interest of his own people. So that is what is going on. Our people are only concerned about what's important to be everywhere and treating, almost enslaving everybody. But our own people are just looking. I believe that when it comes to the level where they will not impose Sharia on everybody, maybe that is when they will wake up. It hasn't gotten to that stage until it gets to that level when maybe they will impose their own agenda on everybody. Maybe that's when people will wake up. But for now, it's not gotten to that level. So probably when it gets to that critical state, maybe people will now wake up. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Elvis.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you. Okay, we have another caller right here. Let me quickly take this so we can move on from here. Thank you very much, my people. Mr. Thomas, thank you for calling in. Oh, I lost that. I'm calling you back quickly. Guys, please help us to press on the like, help us to share. If you are there, sir, please pick your call on time. Okay, good evening to you, sir. Yeah, I missed your call. Please talk to us, sir. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you very much. It's Tom calling from Belgium. Thank you very much for accepting my call.
Thank you,
See,
sir.
this very thing picture about the bandits that has taken over the military camp in Niger State. I wrote on the commentary yesterday about it. So what we are doing with all the blame, fight all these things to fight the terrorists, which the former president bought. What are they doing with it? What are the military doing with it? So Agbado has lost control of the whole thing. Insecurity don't create, and it's so light. All the heat is in the air. From the second they take over, you will hit the ground running. Up till now, there's no life. People are suffering. There's no food. People are crying up and down. Nothing is working. What is that man doing? The petrol, nothing happening. He carried the portfolio petrol minister as well as the president. But he continued to squander money to all his people. He's now presenting his son to be the humanitarian candidate for 2027. How can all this type of things happen? Corruption is on the increase. Nothing is happening. The Ethiopian line, which they use to come and bombard Nigeria, all the money they paid, billions of naira, that one don't go, it's gone. Nobody remembers it. The Auditor General, nobody remembers it. Yaya Bello, nobody remembers it. So what is happening in Tinubu government? Everything is shambolic. So that man, Agbado, has lost it. He should find a way to get out of that place. People want to protest, he will not allow people to protest. The whole lot of them start to kill people for nothing. People are hungry. So all this type of thing is enough. Nigeria rise up. Thank you, my brother. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, my wonderful people. I appreciate you all. We don't have another caller right now. My people, appreciate every one of you. Unfortunately, this is the first time we are closing very, very early. Nobody joined us today, so I just need to round up right now. God bless you now. Please help us to press on the like button, help us to share. And that is all that we're doing today. Let's continue to stand for what is right and do what is right at all times. It's very, very important. You know, you see the way Nigeria is going on right now. Sometimes I understand this is very, very discouraging to see that, you know, with all that we are doing and all that, it looks like nobody to actually cry to apart from cry to ourselves. You know, they are listening to you, but they don't do anything. In fact, they even continue to get worse. That's how it is, you know, and it's very, very disheartening and it's very, very, very painful to see that this is where we are today. Just look at the rep, for example. You know, I'll be granted 500K bail, you know, with all that happens. Okay, let's assume it was the other way around. Let's just assume it was the other way around and this whole thing happened. You think they will allow the Uber driver to just leave like that? To be granted 500, not because he called a governor a womanizer, so where they remanded in prison. So being a womanizer and saying that I will dismiss you, or rather I don't know whether I will kidnap you or dismiss you, you know, Nigeria, nobody will know. Which one is more severe? Calling somebody a womanizer and you saying publicly that you go buy person, you know, you get the word we use, I don't forget them. You know, which one is more severe? You know, so it's crazy. So for you to see that people don't have freedom of expression anymore in Nigeria is very, very crazy. Somebody will call governor a womanizer have been reminded in prison. Somebody will tell person directly saying go buy him, they go forget him for the whole Nigeria. Was given bail of 500,000 naira. That's crazy. Mr. Osei, thanks for calling. It's a good evening to you. Talk to us. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
So let me greet all too much. I just want to contribute for the corruption within Nigeria. Why be like this for the country? Why this corruption? Why we say it go hard? All Nigeria to better. People will not give money for governor, to minister, or to all of them. As they enter power, they for power, the least not for Tinubu already going to employ the ESCC. So they're going to work with them. That's why the country go hard for everybody. Because you don't go feel better, so you go hard. Because there's nobody to talk. If you talk, yes, you go after them. The president will send people. He will send the ESCC to go after. So they know that if we talk, that is why the country is so corrupt. And then they get another information say they want one more private jet, they won't buy again for the vice president. When I just keep down at that. And the information I get down so for Nigeria, I don't want more private jet, they won't buy one more for the vice president. I don't buy that one for. So I agree with the parliament. Somebody don't talk these things when I hear before people mad.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much, Mr. Osei. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for putting your voice to this today. Thank you. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you very much, my people. I appreciate every one of you. God bless you now. Like I said before, I would like to end the show right now. All right. Information just reaching me that my brother, Very Dark Man, is with us here. Very Dark Man is on the comment section commenting right there. I didn't see that, you know. Thank you very much for joining us. But I need to... All right. Okay. I have to confirm because I was thinking maybe is the wrong person using a different name. So I have to confirm that myself to know that, yes, it was Very Dark Man, you know, but he's not willing to join the panel. We'll find a better time to bring him to the panel, you know, to talk to us, you know, here, so that we can talk about the things that's affecting us together in Nigeria. But nevertheless, my people, I would still like to end the show right now so that we can take it from here. Thank you very much, my people. Have a good night and bye for now.